Okay, in this question, we're going to identify different kinds of solids, whether they're metallic, network covalent, ionic, or molecular, depending on what the kind of constituent atoms are, or elements in these different substances. Okay, and so let's look at part A, silicon dioxide, or SiO2, and let's see where these things are in the periodic table. Okay, and so silicon is right here, and oxygen is right there. Silicon is right near that kind of zigzag staircase that tends to separate the metals from the nonmetals, and if you're on that staircase, they tend to become what are called semi-metals or metalloids, and they have some properties that are similar to those of metals and some properties that are similar to those of nonmetals. But when they make solids, they tend to make their own kind of unique types of solids, which are sometimes called network covalent solids. Okay, and so for SiO2, this is going to be network covalent. Now let's look at KCl, potassium chloride. So potassium is right there, chlorine is right there. They're pretty much as far away as you can get in the periodic table. This is going to tend to make this ionic because I have a metal and a nonmetal. So KCl is going to be ionic. Now let's look at copper. Okay, so copper is right here. And that's pretty square in the transition metal region of the periodic table. Since there's no other element there besides just copper, it's going to make just a metallic solid. Okay, now let's look at CO2, carbon dioxide. So carbon is right there, oxygen is right there. These are pretty close to each other in the periodic table, and carbon and oxygen are both considered nonmetals. So when nonmetals get together, they tend to make covalent bonds. So this is going to be just a regular molecular solid. Okay. Now, let's look at the last possibility, ammonium fluoride, or NH4F. This one's a little tricky because you see some elements in here that are nonmetals, like nitrogen and hydrogen and fluorine. But you have to realize that this is really made up of a polyatomic ion, the ammonium ion, and the fluoride ion. So because I have ions there, even though the ions themselves are made out of nonmetals, this is still going to be an ionic solid when they come together.